Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News, and right now I am joined by the champ, Kayla Harrison, who's getting ready to return November 25th at the PFL Championships. How's it going, Kayla?
It's going good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. First question, what are some of the biggest things that you feel like you've learned about yourself as an MMA fighter from your first matchup with Larissa Pacheco?
Um, as an MMA fighter, I think I've just evolved tremendously since that time. It's been about almost 3 years since we competed, and I think that the amount of growth I've had is exponential, from my stand-up to my awareness to my range, my confidence. I think I'm an MMA fighter now, whereas before I was probably she had a lot more experience than me then. She had been doing this for a lot longer than me, and I sort of just found a way to win. Whereas now I think that I'll win everywhere.
Do you feel like the mental part of fighting is kind of the biggest thing that's really grown for you since that time period?
I think that the confidence is key. It's one thing to do something for 20 years. Like, of course I have confidence in my judo. Like I did it forever. It was hard not, that's an inner confidence that you can't buy. It's just something that's instilled in you. After you do a move 10,000 times, and yeah, you're going to have confidence in that move. Where I didn't have that in MMA when I first started. And I'm starting to get that. I'm starting to really believe in the training. I believe in my abilities. I believe in the work that I put in, and my coaches and my teammates. And so I think that the confidence has been really important. I'm starting to have that same muscle memory in MMA that I did in judo.
We've talked a little bit before about this, but I want to get your thoughts on your path as a complete mixed martial artist, right? Because I feel like that's always been a big goal for you, is to be a well-rounded mixed martial artist. So where do you feel like you're at in that journey right now?
I think I'm still just getting started. I think I've never really had to showcase anything but my grappling, because no one's been able to stop it. And hopefully I never do, hopefully I just go in there, take them down, beat them up, and submit them. That would be fantastic. I would be totally happy with that if that's how my career goes for the rest of it. But I'm doing work, it's not like I slack in any of the other areas. I've been training twice a day since I was 12 years old, and nothing has changed. I know I'm getting better because I can see myself in this stand up. I can see myself in sparring. Like, I'm not being gifted sparring. I'm training hard. I'm training with men, and I'm trying to find a way to be well-rounded everywhere, so that so the day does come that I don't take somebody down, I'm going to be comfortable.
How much does it mean to you personally to be able to headline a place like Madison Square Garden with all the history there and combat sports and just sports in general, like especially as a female fighter? How much does that mean to you?
That's just a huge honor. I think that it's not something I ever imagined for my life. If I go back and I put myself in 16-year-old Kayla's shoes, that's something that probably never even would have crossed my mind. I would have laughed at you and said, "What, are you crazy? Like, I'll never do something like that." So for me, it's a huge honor, and it's something that I don't take lightly. I think that I'm proud to be in a position to headline a card like this, and a historic night of fights. This is a night of fights that's going to change people's lives, and amazing fights. It's humbling. It's a humbling thing for me to receive that, and hopefully have earned it. I do my best to always go out and put on a show, and to be dominant, and to be a good ambassador for the sport and for the PFL and for myself. So I'm looking forward to 2 weeks from today, getting in there and getting the job done.
I spoke with Dakota Ditcheva a few weeks ago. Obviously, she's getting a lot of hype right now with her recent performances. And she really talked a lot about the concept of passing the torch from you to her in terms of
Mm.
becoming that next
Mm.
female star. Do you feel like that's the case? And what have you made of her recent performances?
I love Dakota. I think she's the real deal. You know, I think she's got it all. She has the it factor. I think she's a special breed. And the number one thing I look for when I look at, you know, potential stars, I would say is work ethic. And it's one thing to go out and perform in a cage, and like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, right? But she's talented and she works her ass off. And I have nothing but respect for her. And absolutely, I hope that it's my job as a woman and as a leader to build up other people and to put them on my shoulders and have them surpass anything I have ever done. You know, that's my goal as a mother. That's my goal as a fighter. If I'm a coach someday, that's my goal as a coach. Is to leave the world better than I found it and to help build other people up. You know, I'm not in this business to be in competition with other women. I'm in this business to be in competition with myself. So I absolutely, I hope Dakota surpasses everything I've done in the PFL. And I think she will. I think she has it. I think she has that ability. I think she's an amazing fighter, and I'm really looking forward to watching her career.
No doubt about it. And with this being your last season in the PFL, I want to get your thoughts and your insight in terms of the season format, because I feel like that it really doesn't get talked enough about in terms of fans and pundits, just how grueling that whole process is, the quick turnarounds in between fights. As a veteran of the season format, what can you tell us about just how difficult that is?
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking hard. You know, I always used to joke about, like, for the Olympics, they should have one average, like one normal person in every event, just for like to see, like, can imagine like a normal dude running the 100-meter dash, or like, you know, I feel like we should just have one MMA fan try and compete 4 times in 6 months, not even win, like just compete in 4 times in 6 months, and like train for it and prepare for it and overcome the injuries. And like, it's just, it's a grind. It's a mental and physical grind. You know, you train, you have a fight, you have a camp, you take basically a couple days off, and then you're right back in camp again because you have another opponent. You know, your legacy is on the line, your livelihood is on the line, your health is on the line, and you have to find a way to dig deep and win every single time. This isn't for the faint of heart. You know, this isn't and you're not handpicking your opponents. You're not cherry picking. You're not like it's tough, man. And you know, I've been through 2 Olympic cycles, 3 really. Like I was helped train for the 2008 games as well. I've been through 3 Olympic cycles, and that is difficult in the sense that it's 4 years of a grind. And this is difficult in the sense that it's 6 months of like the most intense, like every fight is the Olympics. So it's the Olympics in 6 months. It's a different kind of grind. It takes a special athlete to compete in the PFL season. I'll say that. So all of my comrades in arms and all of the competitors who are competing for the finals on November 25th, they're a special breed. And yeah, I have nothing but respect for all of them because it's tough.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Kamaru Usman mentioned not too long ago that when he lost the UFC title, it was kind of almost a relief for him, just dealing with all those expectations of stardom and celebrity and all that. I wanted to get your thoughts on that and just kind of how you deal with those expectations and the pressure from outside and all that.
Well, I mean, I ain't no Kamaru Usman, so
yeah,
I don't have that problem.
Right.
Thank God. Yeah, you know, I think that I'm very fortunate that I've been able to keep, you know, I'm not there yet. I'm not a global sensation. I'm not a household name. I don't have my own supplement in Walmart and Target and GNC. Like, my face isn't everywhere on every billboard all over the country. So I'm not there yet. I can imagine and I can empathize sympathize with what he probably has had to go through. I mean, Kamaru and I are friends, and he, like I'll hit him up and he's like, he doesn't even want to go out to eat, like he wants to like order in. And I'm like, dude, like you got to live your life. Like, yeah. And I think the number one thing that I will hopefully, if I ever get to that point, which I really don't want to, but if I do, I'm going to try and keep an attitude of gratitude about it. Like, I was once a 16-year-old kid with no money and nothing but a dream. And who knows, whoever asks me to take a picture and whoever comes up and like that pressure is a privilege, and that these fans and this money and this fame and this glory is a privilege. And I hope that I keep an attitude of gratitude about it if I ever get to that point. But I can understand relief. I'm not a superstar and I already feel all kinds of pressure, like there's a ton of pressure. Anytime you step inside of a cage and someone's trying to kill you, that's pressure, like I get that. And sometimes you got to just breathe. You got to just take it one day at a time. That's the only thing I just breathe and go hug my kids or like pet a chicken, like,
yeah.
Remember that every day is a gift. Like this is a beautiful life that I have. And I never in a million years thought I would be living this life. And I'm very grateful to everyone who's been a part of the journey, to God for giving me this opportunity. And I just hope that I can do it justice and can live a life that I'm proud of.
When you first started your MMA career, and even going back to when you were in the Olympics, was there somebody that kind of you looked to advice and guidance for how to deal with added fame and celebrity and all that?
I mean, I think the number one thing that has kept me successful is the people that I surround myself with. Like this hasn't changed for me. Like I don't have a bunch of new friends. I call them yes men, so I don't have any yes men around me. I have people who will, no bullshit, tell me when I'm messing up or tell me when I'm doing good. And for me, that's really always been my family and the Pedros, my two judo coaches, Jimmy and Big Jim. They're still in my corner to this day. Jimmy is, an integral part of my life. Big Jim is, probably my best friend. And they have a very tough love, no bullshit approach. And they keep me honest and they keep me grounded. So, I mean, I'm not famous, but if I ever was, like, there would be, they talk so much shit to me. Like I would never, my head is never going to be able to get big, like right. I probably have said a couple times. I remember specifically after I won my first Olympic gold medal, like, I don't know why, like maybe just like 22 and I was like young and delusional, but I kind of thought like, oh, like it's different now. Like I won, like I don't have to train like that. I don't have to. And let me tell you, the second Olympic cycle was harder than the first. Like Big Jim made me go to every single tournament. Big Jim made me compete in every single event. I went to every single training camp and I hated him for it. I was like, Big Jim, like I won. Like what the hell? What? Look at all these other guys. Like this guy won. He's not doing this. He competes 4 times a year. I'm competing 15 times a year. Like, what am I doing? And he was like, he's like, there are 2 types of athletes, kid. He's like, there's thoroughbreds. All right. A thoroughbred, you got to take it easy. You got to go easy on them. And when they show up on race day, boom, they go. But if you work them too hard, they go lame. He's like, and then there's the other type of athlete. There's the workhorse, the plow horse, the horse that's in the fields every day. And you work that horse to the bone. But the day you don't work it, it dies. He was like, and I got to tell you, kid, you are a workhorse. And I was like, ah. So there's never going to be like any chance of me resting on my laurels or like thinking my shit don't stink. Like, no, not possible with the Pedros in your corner.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. I feel like a common narrative with you specifically, and this kind of drives me crazy too. I'm sure it drives you crazy, being the subject of it, is this idea that, um, people talk about your level of competition, right? In terms of,
Mhm.
oh, well, she faces this level of competition, so on and so forth. I mean, does that drive you crazy and fire you up even more to go out there and put on big
I
performances?
mean, it used to probably.
Yeah.
Like, I think when I first started MMA, I didn't have quite a thick enough skin
Mm.
to be involved in the trenches of internet trolls
Yeah.
that come out of the woodwork. But I mean, realistically, I am the woman in the arena. I am someone who goes out there and puts it on the line. And so are my competitors. They're people who go out there and put it on the line. They step in a cage and they chase their dreams. And 95% of the people who have anything negative to say about us or me or my level of competition don't live their life out loud. They don't put things on the line. They don't dare to dream. And I feel sorry for them because that's a sad way to live. That's a hopeless way to live. So I really I don't think about it too much anymore. And the reality is, like, I'm in competition with myself. I'm not here to beat up Larissa Pacheco. I mean, I am obviously, but I'm not here to put down Larissa Pacheco or to put down my competition. I'm here to test myself and see how far I can go. It's a personal thing, and it doesn't matter who I fight. It's personal for me. It's about seeing how great I can be. Um, and I have nothing but respect for every single woman who steps in the cage with me, because it's not easy. It's not. It's hard. It's scary. It's a fight, for God's sakes. So everyone else can, go pound sand. I really have no time for their bullshit.
Yeah, I totally understand. And I gotta ask, was there an initial element of frustration when Julia Budd had to pull out of the last, well, not the last fight, but a couple of fights ago, in terms of not being able to face someone with those kind of accolades and being a veteran of the
Yeah.
sport?
Yeah, for sure. Of course. Like, I was very excited for that opportunity. I was excited to fight her. A veteran of the sport, a Bellator champ, like, for a long time. Of course, I was jacked up about it.
PFL has been making a lot of moves lately, obviously adding a lot of top talent. One of those names is Aspen Ladd. I saw you gave a little bit of a reaction to the move. What are your thoughts on the move? And is that a potential fight we could see in the pay-per-view division?
I mean, I'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. I don't pick them. I just show up. So I'm very excited for the move. I think it is good for her. I think that was the right move business wise. I think career wise. Um, she has a lot of talent and a lot of potential, and I hope to see her do great things in the PFL. But for sure, I'd fight her. I mean, I think I'll fight anyone. So I would love that matchup. I think it's. But first, November 25th, Larissa Pacheco. That's what my mind is on. That's what my focus is on. That's what I'm thinking about when I'm eating breakfast. It's what I think about before I go to sleep. I have a job to do, and everything else will fall into place after that.
Absolutely. A few more questions for me. Once again, I really do appreciate the time and your responses to my questions.
Yep.
Who are your top 5 female MMA fighters of all time outside of yourself? How would you rank that group?
I mean, we're gonna have to go Amanda, obviously, Cyborg, Ronda for everything she did for the sport. I'm gonna go Joanna for everything she did for the sport. And and there's so many greats.
Yeah,
It's tough.
definitely.
It's tough. And Rhonda, Amanda, Cyborg, Joanna. I mean, you could go Rose, you could go Holly, you could go. I mean, there's just so many. I think that's tough. I can't pick just one. I will say this. I will say my number 5 is not named because she's coming up, she's growing up, she's training MMA. She didn't start in judo, she didn't start in wrestling. She's decided she wanted to be an MMA superstar, and she's probably like 15 years old right now, hungry as hell, a little killer, and she's going to surpass everything any of us could do in the sport. So that's my number 5, is an unknown soldier.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to solving that mystery in terms of who's that next big star for sure. Stylistically, who do you feel like is a tougher fight for you? Cris Cyborg or Amanda Nunes?
I mean, probably Amanda. I think she's just more well-rounded, and yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, Amanda.
I got you. Last question for me. What's your message to the PFL fans ahead of the championships?
Buckle up, buttercups. It's going to be a hell of a night. This is a night where lives are changed. This is a night where everyone's hard work comes to fruition, and the thrill of the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat is going to be on full display. And I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it. I hope you guys are too. And please tune in and watch, because this is history in the making.
Before we wrap things up, I'll give you the final word to shout out your foundation, your book, all that good stuff. If there's anybody you want to thank as well, I'll give you the final word.
Yeah, obviously, I encourage everyone to go check out the Fearless Foundation. It's on Instagram, fearlessfoundation.org. My website is fearlessfoundation.org. The book is called Fighting Back. I think anyone who has anything to do with children or wants to help change the world should read it and then give it to someone else to read. In terms of thanks, I want to really just thank my team, my coaches, American Top Team, all of my training partners. From the top down, we are a unit, and we build each other up, and we work hard, and we're in there together, bleeding and sweating and crying. And none of this would be possible without them. So I'm super, super grateful to my team, my judo family, my family itself. My kids make a lot of sacrifices, and my family makes a lot of sacrifices. And I hope that I make it worthwhile to all of them. And my sponsors, Redcon and Bose, I want to thank them very much. And also Fuji Sports, who's been in my corner since I was 16 years old and had nothing. So everyone who's a part of Team Kayla is an integral part, from the top to the bottom, from the person who tapes my hand to my sparring partners. None of this would be possible without them. And I'm truly, truly grateful that I get to do what I love every day and call it a job.
Absolutely. Well, Kayla, I really do appreciate the time, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon. All the best with these final days before the championships, and thanks again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.